Death Blade, Sidewinder, daring. Lunchtime is over. It's heist time. Velvet Thunder. Pump, pump. My wife was murdered by a man in a yellow sweater. Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
What's up, everyone? Adam from FWCI. This is the Brooklyn Nine-Nine Season 6 wrap-up. And I know the next two seasons are going to be quite short, so the next time I do a season wrap-up will be at the end of the whole series. So I'll kind of wrap up Season 7 and 8 together because they're very short, and these videos actually, every time one of these end of seasons comes up, it's always a case of like, whew, yeah, I forgot how much work goes into these. But I love doing it because Brooklyn it's one of those shows that people just breathe. Like The Office is another one of those, Parks and Rec, the kind of show that people just put on in the background for comfort. And I want to do this show the justice of seeing it all the way through to the end, even though it's been a little bit shaky this last season. And I'm a completionist as well, so you know I'm definitely going to be going all the way through to the end, because why would I stop at this point? Even though, like I say, this season was inconsistent. Let's talk about Season 6. The season was very inconsistent. There was definitely a point where all of the episodes started to feel different. All of the characters started to feel different. Gintar's is the episode that I sort of really started to notice it, but people in the comments sort of pointed out that things started happening a couple of episodes before that as well. I can't remember what one it was, but there was another episode that everybody's like, oh, this is where things really started going downhill. And there were moments where the show felt like itself, but it just felt more like a cartoon. Like, it didn't feel like the characters were realistic characters anymore. It felt like they were just these, like, really animated, like, over-the-top sort of thing. And there were moments of that earlier in the series, obviously, but it never really felt like it was the characters. It was more like a moment would create something. And I don't know, just the whole demeanor of everybody, especially Terry Crews. And this is no fault to anyone. This is obviously what the writing was and what the direction was. But the direction they took that character in, it just, I don't know, kind of took away a lot of his dignity. Not dignity, but it was harder to respect the character after seeing him just behaving so immaturely, you know? And he had immature moments, but this felt different. But as I do with all of my season wrap-ups, I'm gonna rank my top 3 episodes, my top 3 cold opens, and in honor of the late Andre Brewer, I'm going to be ranking my top 3 Captain Holt moments from this season. And when I get to the end of the whole series, I'm definitely gonna do like a top 20 Captain Holt's moment or something like that. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't commit to that just yet because I just finished saying how much work these are, but I really want to do something special to celebrate that character and celebrate Andre Brewer as well. You notice that I've got an all Holt intro to the channel now, to this series, my Brooklyn intro. That's staying. That's not going anywhere. That's going to be the intro all the way till the end now, because I love the character, and Andre Brewer did such a great job bringing this character to life in a way that I don't think anybody who watched this show expected what they ended up getting when it came to Captain Holt. Like, he was just always full of surprises. Rest in peace to Andre Brewer. But let's start it. Let's talk about the top 3 cold opens, starting with number 3.
The podium is...
So something I noticed about the cold opens in this season is a lot of them were more plot-based. There were very few sort of isolated cold opens that were more of its own sort of thing. There was a couple of them, like there's one where they start talking fast because they're drinking the coffee and stuff like that. But really, it was kind of slim pickings looking for cold opens that I really, really liked. And Pranking Holt was great because you didn't know what he was going to do when the podium gets moved a quarter of an inch, and I did not expect him to just start laughing maniacally at the sheer comedic genius that lay before him, kind of thing. And there was a nice build up to it as well, like, you know, oh, don't do this, not enough, too much, that kind of thing. Peralta had already given up that the prank was going to even work. It was just a really solid little, like, comedy nugget. My number 2 cold open of Brooklyn Nine-Nine Season 6. You want a drink, Hitchcock?
Don't mind if I do, Scully.
Don't mind if I do.
So this cold open was all sorts of awesome. We're getting just this complete out of context look at young Hitchcock and young Scully, and they are just jacked, they are studs, they're solving the case, they're getting the girl, they're, you know, using these awesome one-liners like action movies and stuff. It was the most surreal thing, and I remember from season 1, I was saying, I want to see a flashback episode with these two, and people in the comments were like, please stick through till season 6 because it's coming. And I was not disappointed. The cold open especially was a thing of beauty, so it gets number 2 on the list. My number 1 cold open from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, season 6.
That's the butt bump.
Goodbye, Santiago.
Double fist bump reverse explosion into a Pete Townsend strum.
I love everything about this sketch. I love that it ties in the ongoing story between Holt and Peralta, that he's always late. Even there's a very, very overlooked little line in this cold open where Holt says to Peralta,
I will break you right now.
it just says, I am going to break your brain right now. And the way he does that, obviously, custom handshakes with everybody. I think my favorite of the lot is probably the Santiago one. The double fist explosion into the guitar move. I can't remember the name of the guy who does the move, but that's probably my favorite of the lot. And the fact that the whole thing is just to torture Peralta, and it works, and we get the cherry on top with Holt having his custom handshake with the Xerox guy as well.
Brooklyn!
Next, I'm gonna rank my top 3 Captain Holt moments from season 6. Let's just jump into it. Number 3.
Is that Raymond Holt I see? Well, you haven't changed a bit.
Neither of you, Ernest.
What?
I like the continuity with this. We've heard of the Disco Strangler for a long time, and let's not forget that throughout this little storyline here, Holt knew that the guy did actually escape using his groovy voodoo, and nobody else believed him. So Holt was really, like, he was doing the right thing, and they still managed to catch this crazy old man anyway. But the final confrontation between the two of them, when we realize he's just a senile old man and he can't hear, and they're having to repeat themselves, and it's like talking to like a, you know, somebody in a nursing home or something like that, and it just takes away Holt's moment. That is just a beautiful scene, and whoever they had playing the Disco Strangler, he was hilarious in that scene, just with his comedic timing. And also, obviously, shout out goes to the editors, because I'm sure they had a big part in that as well. But the execution of that scene was pretty flawless. Number 2, Captain Holt moment of Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 6.
What are you waiting for, Jeffords? Call the horn dog.
Holt being sucked in to a radio challenge, like guess the noise or something like that. That's one of those things that is just perfect for this character to do. Like, it's so benign, it's so pointless, it's so, like, you really have to be bored and kind of immature to, like, get as into it as these guys do. And it starts off with Holt just, you know, criticizing them and making fun, and then when he crinkles the yogurt lid, and the sass that he's given Terry after that.
And I can't believe it took you this long. Yogurt is literally your one thing. Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
It was just a great Captain Holt moment. It was a good Scully, Hitchcock, and Terry like story as well, but Holt's addition to that was just the cream on top. And my number 1 Captain Holt moment from Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 6.
You have a girlfriend at home?
I do. And you should see her heavy, feminine breasts with their perfectly placed nipples.
There were some really good moments in other episodes as well, especially the honeypot episode. A lot of those interactions with Holt and the honeypot were definitely worthy of being on this list. But the reason I put this one up the top is because it was just Andre Brewer carrying that whole scene. And it was a funny scene, it was a funny premise, and, you know, Terry Crews is great in it, and Boyle is great in it as well. But Captain Holt trying his hardest to be a dangerous heterosexual criminal. First of all, it's great when he tries to be heterosexual, when he has to, like, pretend to be heterosexual, because he always starts talking about heavy breasts every single time, and it's such a hilarious running joke now that it cracks me up. But when he starts talking about his mistress's can and how it's smaller, but it's harder. I don't know, I can't do it justice. Please, watch.
It's smaller, but it's harder.
That was one of my favorite Captain Holt moments of the whole series. Just the way he delivered that line, it just struck such a specific chord of comedy inside my brain. And of course, when he's talking about, this wasn't just having a shove, this was pushing a hurt. Great line. And again, it was the delivery of Andre Brewer that made all of that scene as hilarious as it was. So, can't say it enough. Rest in peace to the man. And it's going to be bittersweet watching Captain Holt in season 7 and 8. Knowing that the man is now no longer with us, and I'm sure he is beloved with the cast. He's certainly beloved by the fans. I know that from you guys down in the comments there. And I wonder if I'm going to have some heartbreaking moments at the end of this series, but I have to wait and see. Brooklyn! Now it's time to talk about my top 3 episodes. Number 3 is...
Judy, you screwed me.
Anytime Doug Judy's involved, it's a win for me. And this episode had a nice twist to it. We had Trudy Judy involved there as well, and Doug Judy getting scorped by Trudy Judy, which was a great ending. I didn't know where it was going to go. I was still convinced that Doug Judy was going to be in on it with Trudy Judy, but he wasn't. And the interaction with him and Peralta at the end, when he's empathizing with him about what it feels like to be on the losing end of that kind of thing, just great character moment for those two. My favorite scene in that is probably when Peralta is singing a song about Doug Judy at the funeral, and Doug Judy just pops up from behind that plant, starts dancing. He's like, yeah, sing it, Peralta. That was, I don't know, that might be the one moment that would best describe the relationship between the two of them. That moment, Peralta singing in a very high key at Doug Judy's fake funeral while Doug Judy dances from behind a bush as a surprise. The secondary story on that was pretty good as well. It was where the 99 are trying to save the bar from the firefighters, led by Rob Riggle and flanked by an autographed photo of Dennis Leary. It was just fun. I mean, sometimes, drinking competitions are fun. We got Drunk Amy in that as well. And there was a really sweet moment at the end with Captain Holt, coming to save the 99 and save Shaw's bar as well. Overall, it was a very good rounded episode, but Doug Judy and the next chapter in their saga definitely puts it in the top 3. And I've got 2 seasons left. 2 more Doug Judys. Please be more Doug Judy. My second favorite episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, season 6.
We were the studs of the 9-9.
Well, I'm sure studs is a bit of a... Oh my god. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but...
Meow.
No, that is not what I was going to say.
As we discussed earlier, has a great cold open in this, but I liked the actual story of this and what the motive ended up being. And I mean, we'll talk about the real reason this is number 2 on the list in just a moment, but seeing just a bit of background of these two and giving them not just a story, but like a story with weight, like it's corruption, there's like money has gone missing, like there are some pretty like serious stakes here, and then somebody's life is at stake at the end. We don't often get to see those guys in that level of drama, and this really worked, and I think it's good that they saved it until when they did, because this just came out of nowhere, and getting to shine the spotlight on these two characters definitely made this episode a fun watch. But the ending when they go to Wing Sluts and they have their first bite of the wing, I don't know who those actors were, but they transformed after they started eating those wings. That is one of my favorite visuals on Brooklyn Nine-Nine ever, was just Hitchcock and Scully shredded, and he's like in his midriff top. I don't want to see Scully wearing a midriff top. And they just immediately transformed just visually into Hitchcock and Scully. It was actually quite impressive. So overall, it was a pretty good episode. The side story was about the headquarters being cramped, and Amy was kind of at war with Terry and Rosa. It was okay, and it carried a bit more of the story with Commissioner Kelly. By the way, Commissioner Kelly is so funny. I mean, he's such a despicable, hateable villain, but the actor that they've got playing him does not play it like that. He is such a nice guy. Like, I don't know what the direction was when they were casting somebody. I think they were like, we want the sweetest, nicest old man you can give us, and then we're gonna make him like the worst kind of thing. Is he the Umbridge of Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I think he is. And before I say number one, let me know in the comments what your prediction is for number one. Let me know what you think I would pick, and then let me know what your favorite episode is for season 6, because it was a very inconsistent season, and the highs, even the highs, were not that same, you know, pinnacle that Brooklyn has hit in the past. I mean, probably something to quickly mention as well. Actually, no, I won't, because that'll spoil the top one. Let's get to it. The top episode.
What are you guys thinking?
We're clearly all looking at you.
Oh God, am I in charge of the meeting? Dismissed. Dismissed.
So no heist in the top 3 this year, and yeah, the heist didn't really do it for me. It was a bit of a disappointment. I just, something about it, it seemed very, very forced, and they did it on the Cinco de Mayo thing, which I don't care that they did that, but it kind of came out of nowhere, and it seemed very very random. It didn't seem to hit the same notes that the other heist did, but the Suicide Squad kind of filled that void that the heist episode left, because the twists and turns and the storyline with this, with Wunsch, CJ, and the Vulture all coming back, and then not knowing who you can trust from there. Kelly is, like I say, he's a great villain, like as a hateable villain. He's also just an incredibly entertaining and hilarious actor, especially in this particular role, delivering these devastating dialogue in like just the most friendliest way imaginable. All of that main storyline, the mistrust with Wunsch, CJ, and his just stupidity throughout, and then again the wild card that is the Vulture. You never really knew what was going on with him. It really kept me guessing all the way up till the end, and then I was very satisfied with the ending that Wunsch and Peralta had, you know, got together and formulated this plan to take down Commissioner Kelly. The secondary story on it was, what was it? It was Terry was in denial about leaving the 9-9. Fine storyline, and you know, we got everybody in there, and it was nice to see something about that. And again, that was a bit of a cliffhanger in itself, because they'd been teasing that for a few episodes as well. Perfectly adequate secondary story, but just the quality and the way that they told that final story. And I gotta mention the end of the episode before that, the one with Caleb, the ending where they introduced Wunsch, the Vulture, and CJ all back into it, and they had what was that song? Amazing reveal. Absolutely amazing. I personally would have liked to have seen more unusual people on that squad, and maybe that gets a little bit too unrealistic, and I was talking about characters having a bit too much like cartoonish sort of you know, movements and stuff like that. But if they could find a way to get Caleb and Doug Judy on that squad, I would have been all for that, because I don't know, that feels more like the Suicide Squad that I know, having some real criminals on there. Although I think all 3 of those are probably criminals, even CJ, even if he doesn't know it. And CJ's good. He's a very funny character. I really missed him. He was so annoying. He got really, really annoying really quick. But there's something about that character that I do actually enjoy, and I'm glad to see him pop back in as well. And Wunsch, wow, we have not seen her for like a couple of seasons at least, I guess. A positive thing is that the series went out on a very high note, and it does make me excited for the next season and the new, you know, storyline that Holt now has to wear a uniform and just, you know, be a patrolman. I'm interested to see that. I want to see that. I want to see Captain Holt out there living the tribulations that the average police officer in Brooklyn would experience. And I'm here for Season 7 and Season 8. I hope you join me for both of them. And if you do want early access, patreon.com/FWCI is where you can get it for $5 dues a month. That's all it costs. You can also leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe here as well, because once I get to the end of Brooklyn Nine-Nine Season 8, I will be starting the vampire one, What We Do in the Shadows. That's the next series that I'll be doing, and I don't know what else. I think Schitt's Creek is going to be wrapping up around about the same time, if not before. Probably a little bit after, actually. So, I don't know. There might be big changes coming to the channel in the future, but I always want to hear what you would like me to watch on the channel. The only advice I can give when you're making suggestions is pick something that's really, really popular and gets really good views. Because at the end of the day, the more views I get, the more the channel grows, and then the more I can start doing really crazy, weird shit. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that every now and then you get something weird show up in your subscription feed, because I will suddenly do a Great British Bake Off reaction. I will suddenly watch a boat fight in Alabama or something like that. Not all the time, but on the occasion. And I hope to be able to do more of that. And I hope you guys just join me to share my company and watch whatever is going on, as long as it's fun. So thanks to all of you that have been joining me along the Brooklyn Nine-Nine journey. Thank you to those who suggested I watch this show back when I was doing something else. I don't even know what videos those would have been. We just passed 17,000 subscribers. Lord of the Rings did ridiculous numbers, and the channel was growing, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a huge part of the growth of this. And I do get sentimental thinking about this show sometimes, and it's why Andre Brewer passing away hit me a little bit harder than I kind of expected it to, I guess, because up until I started this channel, I really had no idea who the man was. And it's not often that you fall this far in love with a TV show character. Let me know your favorite TV show characters of all time in the comments, because Holt is probably up there for me, personally. But as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, see you in the next video. Peace!